Hi, Suchitra. Hi, everyone. George Montano from Northforge. It's just me. Gilles is on vacation, and Daniel cannot join.
Oh, okay. All right. So is it okay if we still continue with the items that I put on the agenda about the voltage?
Yeah, I can give some updates, but I think we will need the Gilles and possibly Daniel for any change of direction, so I can tell you where we're at. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think based on the previous meeting when we talked some time back, George, with Daniel and Gillis, we had some items that we wanted to like to discuss and then come to a conclusion, or if we need more time on it, and or any other items that we want to sync up. So that's the reason I added those items.
Yeah.
So in the agenda, I put maybe George, you can start updating the status from your side, and probably from there, there are a few other questions, and we can sync up together.
Okay. Sure. So the third test case for authentication is now running since since January 25th. And Gilles had he's right now on vacation. Before he went on vacation, he started to work on the DHCP test case, and I think he was making good progress. Right now, we estimate that we should finish this the unicast test as well about mid-March. So I have a projection here for the mid-March with PONSIM. The DHCP should happen very soon. He's back from vacation next week, so it may happen as soon as next week, depending on how well things go. So we may have the DHCP also added by the end of next week.
Okay, thanks, George. So all these tests are being developed on the master branch, or are you guys also working on 2.0?
This is on the master branch. So right now we are on the master branch. We've been on the master branch where everybody's putting their code, because the objective is to catch on every commit if there is any problem, to inform the developer and allow them to check if there is any problem in their code and correct it.
Okay, thanks, George.
I have another update about the BBC.
Okay.
So last Friday, I attended the BBC Brigade, and Kailash, I think you were there too in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a good discussion. We talked about the direction of BBC, and what the brigade concluded is that right now they don't have a time frame for making the BBC work on the master.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed only to work on the 1.6 branch right now. And so Saurav's suggestion was to have us continue with the PONSIM V2, and that's when I updated you, Suchitra, as well, to continue with the PONSIM V2, finish this, because probably by the time we're done, this may not still work on master, the BBC. They're focused on scalability.
Okay, right, I understand.
Yeah.
So, okay, is there anything else, George?
No, so just I was gonna say, so Jill is back next week, and we're gonna finish these test cases that we started, and at the same time we need to look at what is the next step, right? And the next step is, one possibility is of course BBC, which I think that was something you've been suggesting. The other possibility is hardware-based testing. So we really need to sit together, Gilles, Daniel, and I, and also get input from you and from Volta community, and decide this very soon, because we're going to be done with these test cases very soon. So that's my update.
Okay, so I think when Jill is also back and Daniel, I think we can have another call,
Yeah.
probably another 10 days or so, and then we can discuss the future plans as well.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right, because next week we're going to catch up, Daniel and Gilles, and we'll see also how the BBC is going to evolve. And we will go from there. I have a question, Suchitra, and for the team also. I know there were some failures of the job recently. Well, thanks Kailash for adding some log collection. Is there any issue, or it was because of flow decomposer changes that were being made? It seems to be okay right now.
Yeah, the job itself and the tests are okay. It's it's due to that change itself. It's a pretty big change in the flow decomposer. So I think Saurav is still looking at that patch and he's attempting to test it out locally. So that's why you haven't seen any changes in their patches.
Okay.
But he's looking to run these tests locally and try to figure out what's causing the failures. But the job and test itself is fine. Yeah,
Okay,
so nothing
that's
to
what I
worry.
wanted to ensure, that if there's anything we need to intervene from our side to modify. As far as I understood, it was the changes that were changing something fundamental there, and that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. So the tests are still fine. They're still valid and everything. There shouldn't be any change required in the test. But if anything does come out of it, I'll be sure to let you guys know, and we can work together to getting those fixed and updated if need be.
Yeah, thanks, Kailash. Saurav hinted that there may be some changes needed in PwnSim, and I think that should be the responsibility of whoever is making the changes in the flow decomposer, probably, or somebody who's more intimately familiar with it. It should be changed at the same time, unless somebody decides that PwnSim is not maintained anymore, right?
Yeah, I think he was gonna look into PwnSim too and stuff like that. So I'm not sure where he's at on that, but I'll most likely get an update from him on that today.
Okay, I'll be in the brigade for BBSim. If there's a call today, I'll join that, because definitely I'm interested, and Daniel also, and I want to give the feedback to Gilles when he's back. So I'll probably be in that call too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is BBSim today or going to be tomorrow?
Oh, sorry, tomorrow. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
You're right. Thanks.
I thought maybe I didn't see it.
Yeah, you're right.
No
tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks, George. Thanks for the update. So now, since based on the previous meeting, so you will be continuing on the PwnSim, like Saurav suggested. I think whatever we have should be good, and I think Kailash is also helping you guys
a lot
integrate this test into the Jenkins framework. And there was another item that we discussed previously, running some of these tests that we have on Volta 1.6 branch also. This was the suggestion that we got from Saurav, because just to make sure that right now we do not have any new commits going on to 1.6, and in future, let's say there are any, but since we have the same tests which are running, and that could be also run with 1.6 branch, so we were just thinking that just clone the same job for 1.6 and then run the same set of test cases on that as well.
Yeah, I gave that some thought too, and yeah, it wouldn't take any. We can run the same exact test, and we can even use the same job actually, but we just need to listen for changes. Right now, it's only listening to changes on master. It's easy to just add the 1.6 branch on Volta to trigger those tests too. So I can make that change if you guys think it's needed. When we wrote this job, it was around the time when the Volta 1.6 was cut off. In release, so I didn't anticipate any changes in there. But yeah, if you think we should turn it on, I'll go ahead and do that right after this call.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, it's
it's the same test.
Right. If it is not adding any, like more work for us, it's just adding the branch, right?
Yeah.
It's good to add.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked with Gilles. He doesn't think of any reason why it wouldn't work on 1.6. The concept should be the same. The CLI should be the same, and the flows. So it should work.
Yeah, I think so, because the functionalities are same, and this is the basic functionalities that we are still working, right? So it should be working.
That's right. Yeah, it should work. It's a good idea. I also agree. If it's easy to do within Jenkins, then I think it would be beneficial too. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. I think that is all on the Volta side, because I added some notes on update on existing tests, and also update on based test approach. So you have already given that, Josh. Thanks for the updates. Anything else?
Chitra, yeah. So I think when we had the previous discussion, we were thinking about running a nightly build on the master. Do we still think there's any value in that?
Not now, I guess, because the kind of test that we have, it is running fast. as well. We don't have that many tests. When we can wait on that probably
Okay.
when all, I think by end of March or mid of March, when Gillis is done updating all the tests of Volta, at that
Okay.
time we can assess the times that are taking on it, and then we can run a nightly bill at that time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, that was just a placeholder that we wanted to discuss on that.
Okay. Thanks. I just thought I'd bring it up. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, George. So, Kailash, anything else on the Volta that you want to update?
Nothing really. I just wanted to add the note on the comment on the BBSIM testing. I know they're not ready. They haven't been developing and testing BBSIM against Volta Master. But if once you guys are done developing your test cases on PonSim, and if you guys do want to move over to BBSIM, you guys can start developing against Volta 1.6 at least to get started with the BBSIM test framework that you guys intend on writing. So that's my suggestion. If you guys do make it over there before they create it and test it against master,
Right.
just go ahead and test it against 1.6, because that's what I'm doing right now too. When I'm testing BBSIM right now, I'm deploying it with Volta 1.6.
Right. And it, as we said, there's not much activity there, but it would be easier to jump from 1.6 to master afterwards, right? That's the idea?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think one more, thanks to Kailash, she brought it up. One more advantage is that the framework is already written in our code tester repo, so that same libraries could be reused when Gillis wants to write them, because he doesn't need to write everything from scratch. Maybe he could just evaluate this first, whatever is written, and then he can take it from there.
Right, right. Okay. Okay, maybe Kailash, maybe Jill, when he's back, he can ask you where in core tester it is so he can take a look.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
yeah,
he maybe knows
definitely.
already, but yeah, just in case.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We can sync up on that, and I can show him what I've written, and he can leverage some of the stuff I already wrote for it.
So you already run BBSIM?
Yeah, I'm running it, and I have a test that just tests the sanity of BBSIM and validating the functionality of, nothing at scale yet, but just 16 ONUs comes up and gets activated, and DHCP goes through. Yeah, but that's being tested against Volta 1.6. And so that's pretty stable and has been working. So yeah, I can point you to where those tests are, and I also have some documentation on how to bring up BBSIM. So I can point you guys to that when you guys are ready.
Okay. Well, maybe you can just send me just the link to the place where we can find it, and we'll also ping you when Jill is back.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else on Volta? Anyone wants to discuss more? Okay. So that was it on the items for this week's call. If there are any other items that we want to talk in this meeting, any other items anyone else has? Okay. I call it no then. All right then. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for joining the call.
Thanks, Sushila. Thanks all. Bye.
Sure. Bye.
See you guys.